Howdy! I thought I would do another video showing my process of learning a new cover song that I've never played before. Hopefully this will help you to understand how I learn cover songs using sheet music. And today I'm going to be doing a classic song from The Wizard of Oz. I grew up in Kansas, so I feel like it's about time for me to be doing one of the most popular songs from The Wizard of Oz. It is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And I've got this Wizard of Oz sheet music here. You can either get the book if you want, or you can just search online for the Wizard of Oz sheet music. And this one has a little bit of story about the movie. And if we open it up, the first song in the book is Over the Rainbow. And I actually thought it was called Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That is what it is usually called. But apparently the name is really just Over the Rainbow. So here I've got the sheet music on the book. I've also found it online that's in a different key, so I'll kind of talk about both of them. I liked the book because the books usually have a little bit more detail than what you can find on sheet music online. So if you just want a little bit more detail, like if there's any solos or intro, the books will probably have a little bit more than what you can usually find online. So the first step is to determine what key it's in. And looking at this sheet music, it has 3 flats in the key signature. And I'm not a classically trained musician, so I'm not really sure what that is. So I just looked online. I just searched for 3 flat key and found out that it's E flat major. So this sheet music is in E flat major. I'm in E major. This is an E major handpan by PanSmith Handpans. Now I need to transpose the sheet music to my key. The nice thing about this one is that it's an E flat major and I'm in E major. So it's using the home bass root line is going to be that E line because it's E flat major. Well, my home bass or root is E. So I can pretty much use this same sheet music. I just can ignore the flat symbols because I'm in E major and not E flat major. But I can read this sheet music just how it is. So if you have an F major handpan or a D minor handpan, and you're finding sheet music that's an F sharp major, you can use the F sharp major handpan, you can use the F sharp major sheet music for your F major handpan, and you don't have to transpose anything. If it's in a different key, then you will have to transpose it. But like I said, the nice thing about this is it's an E flat major. I'm in E major, so I can pretty much read it as is. So now I'm going to start off. There's a little intro here that I'm not really familiar with. So I am actually just going to start where it goes with Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which is the familiar part that everybody knows. And it starts right here with this E note. And this is another thing that I have to determine when I do cover songs is which octave am I going to play it in? Do I want to play it lower or do I want to play it higher? So sometimes going through some trial and error can help determine what sound you want to get out of that song. Do you want to have it in a lower register or in a higher register? So here it is in a lower register, starting with Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Now I got to go lower than this note, and so I have to use these other handpans here. So I'm just going to try that again and see if I can get a little bit smoother because it's still really unfamiliar to me. That sounds pretty good. I'm gonna try and do it one more time just to see if I can get it smoother. Oh, wrong note. That sounds pretty good. You noticed how I made a mistake at the beginning. I went, and it should have been. So I went back and tried to fix it right away. It's important when you're learning new songs, if you make a mistake, to go back right away and try and fix it, because it's going to save you more time in the long run. If you learn it incorrectly, then the longer that you do that, it's going to be harder to go back and fix it the right way. So if you make a mistake, just go back and fix it right away, and you'll save yourself some time in the long run. So let's try and do it one more time and see how it sounds. I think that sounds pretty good, but I really want some more fullness. So there's only so much I can do with that. So I really want to add some more. It's mainly just a bass line, and a lot of the times I want to have a melody going with some rhythm accompaniment, and I can't really accompany it since I'm using all the lower notes, and that's usually what I use for the accompaniment part. So I'm going to try and do it in a higher register. I'm going to go up an octave, and maybe it's going to sound a little bit better if I add some accompaniment to it. So here we go. In the next octave up, we're just going to try the same melody, starting here on this E instead of this E. So before I started here, now I'm going to start here, and then my next E will be here. Whoops. Well, that sounds pretty good. Let's go to the next line. That sounds pretty good. Let's try it again. I think that sounds pretty good like that. The nice thing about this too is that I'm only using one pan. So for convenience sake, if I wanted to play this for residents or for schools, I could just take this one pan with me, and then I don't have to haul 3 pans and spend time setting up and tearing down 3 pans. So that's really the reason why I've been trying to learn as many songs as I can on this one E major scale, is because I think that it's just more convenient going into hospitals and healthcare communities and schools just taking one instrument on my back instead of having to haul a cart around with a bunch of stands and instruments. So let's go to the next page here. We got that beginning part. Let's go through it one more time. All right, so then the next part, it looks like we're gonna repeat that a little bit. And then, so that's the A part, and then here comes the B part. And it's gonna go like this. And now it wants me to use a different note, which is going to be this one. So it wants me to go. And then it's gonna restart again. Oh, my little pin got knocked over. You guys see my UFO stuff? I like to buy a lot of UFO stuff because it looks like a UFO. All right, so let's try that again, the B part. And then it says use this note. Harmonic. And then it's going to restart with the A part. Now on that B part, for convenience sake, I want to just try and do it on one pan so I don't have to take two pans with me everywhere. I'm just using this one note. But I wonder if I can get away with this note. Right now it doesn't sound that great. When you compare them side by side. But I bet if I do that B part without using that and use this note instead, we probably won't really notice it. So let's try it. And then here it comes. I think I could probably get away with that. If I played that, people probably wouldn't really notice that it's missing. So we're gonna try and do that just so that I don't have to take this other pan with me. And if there's one or two sharps or flats in the song and that's it, a lot of the times you can get away with substituting that sharp or flat with another note that you have, so you don't have to use another pan. Now, if there's more than a couple sharps or flats, you will have to use another pan to get a chromatic set and make it sound full, like the melody. But if there's, a lot of the times, if there's just one or two sharps or flats, you can go ahead and just use another note, and people won't really notice that you're missing that one or two notes. So then it goes back to the A part. And then there's a little ending here where it looks like it kind of just repeats that B part again. Goes. All right, so there's not much to the song. It's just an A and B part. I'm gonna try and play the melody now with some accompaniment. So I think I got the melody down. Let's just try it to make sure. Here's the B part. All right, so now I'm gonna try and add some accompaniment. I like it in the higher register because now I can actually add my major chord. So a lot of the times for accompanying stuff, I'm just gonna use 1, 3, 5 notes, which are my major chord. Because this song is in a major key, that's gonna sound really good accompanying it. And a lot of the times I'll do this 1, 5, 3, 5 pattern. 1, 5, 3, 5, 1. And I'm gonna try and match that with the tempo of the song. So I'm just gonna use that chord to accompany in it and see how that sounds. And you'll see that I use a little bit more accompaniment. So a lot of the times I'm using this 1, 3, 5, but if I'm hitting this 2 note, then I want to use my lower 2. If I'm using my 4 note or my 6, I want to use my 4 and 6 to accompany it. So that's why doing octave training can be really helpful to get familiar with playing the same octave of each note, because a lot of the times you're going to be using those to accompany the melody. So let's try it again with accompaniment. So that sounds a little bit better, just adding some lower octave to accompany it. And I might change that as I go on and maybe add some more stuff or maybe not use some certain notes. But that's a good base to start. And now I'm going to go to the part B. So maybe I want to use a harmonic there. That sounds pretty good. Sometimes I like to end phrases with a harmonic. It just really brings it more life. So then it's going to go back into the A part again. So I think that's pretty much the gist of the song. I have this version online here. It's in C sharp major, so it's in a different key. I would have to transpose that to my key, and the way that I would do that is I would find the C line, since it's in C sharp major, and wherever that C note is, that's going to be my E note. So I would just remember in my head that even though it's in C major, the C is going to be my E, because that's my root. And then I'll just go up and down on the sheet music from there. I think there's one thing different in this online sheet music. On the part B, it goes. So instead of just hitting that C sharp, that 6th note twice, online it says go 6 and then 3 and then 6. So I might do that if I feel like it. But I got the basic foundation of the song melody and I added some accompaniment. So now I'm gonna listen to the song and maybe try and play along with it a little bit to match the tempo, and that will get me more familiar with how the song is structured, and then maybe give me an idea of where I might want to add some more accompaniment. So I'm going to listen to it on headphones so I don't get a copyright, and I'm going to try and play along with it. And I'm noticing there's an intro that is not on the sheet music, so I might try and figure out how to do this intro, or I might just start off with Somewhere Over the Rainbow. right, so the first thing I realized was that there's an intro that is not on the sheet music, so I might try and figure that out, or I might just start off with Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I also noticed that the tempo was maybe slower than what I was playing it, so I might want to slow it down a little bit, but I don't want to go too slow. I still want to grab people's attentions. So this might be a song that I play a little bit faster than the original tempo, just so that I can grab people's attentions more. So let's try and do it one more time now that I've listened to it and see how it goes. Maybe I want to just end that with the harmonic. At the end, there's this little arpeggio that goes something like, it goes, that's the arpeggio. So after okay, here we go. So I think it goes a little bit quicker. All right, I think that's pretty much it. I need to practice this a bunch, and the more that I practice it, the easier it will be to play without looking at the music, and it'll just get into my muscle memory, and then I won't have to think about it anymore. So I'm gonna try and do it one more time, just because it's a little tricky there at the end, and like I said, the more that I do this, the more it'll get smooth. So here we go, one last time. think that's pretty much what the song has on the sheet music. I'm just gonna listen to it some more and try and play along with it. Maybe try and match up that ending part a little bit more. That arpeggio is a little tricky. But yeah, I'm just gonna play along with it some more. I'm gonna play the song over the next few days. I'll just practice it a couple times a day, and that's gonna help me to build it in my muscle memory. I don't wanna sit here and do this for the next hour or two. It's actually gonna be better if I space it out. So if you can break it up into little chunks, you're gonna retain it more if you break it up into little pieces than trying to sit down and do it all in one sitting. So now that I've got the basic foundation of it, I can go ahead and keep playing this song. I'm just gonna do it on this one pan so that I don't have to take these other pans with me because it's just more convenient. But I hope that was helpful. I hope it helped you understand how I take the sheet music and translate it to the handpan. I'll do more of these videos. I'll make some more tutorials on reading sheet music, and I'm just trying to help you guys out. I really think these instruments belong in healthcare, education, and the community. And if you can play Amazing Grace, You Are My Sunshine, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, songs that people know, it's gonna connect us, it's gonna bring people together, it's gonna make people wanna sing. And we just need to be connected and united now more than ever. So if you can get out there and spread some peace and joy, spread that handpan love around your community, I would love it. If you want to do your version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, I would love to hear that too. So just keep following me and watching for some more videos. I hope this helped. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you next time.